Hey good people, hola mi gente, MsMalcolmHughes here. Welcome back. Today we're going to finish up with part 2 of the Dominicana book questions answered video. The last question we answered was number 7. We're going to hop back in today, picking it up with number 8, and we're just going to go all the way through. No need to delay, let's get right into it. Question 8. Discuss Mama's role in arranging Anna's marriage to Juan. Even if she had her daughter's best interest at heart, do you think she did the right thing? Anna then becomes a mother herself. How is motherhood portrayed in the novel? It's unfortunate. Let's start there. It's unfortunate because Mama kind of bargains her off, right? She uses the fact that this man is interested in her daughter to then have leverage in order to hopefully uplift the entire family. So she is selling Anna to the highest bidder, who happens to be Juan, who in exchange for marrying her daughter, taking her to America, eventually bringing the rest of the family to America, he gets Anna and some of her father's land. So do I think it's right? No, right? I don't think anyone else's livelihood should be based on what others deem as their value. Unfortunately, that's what it was at the time, and it still happens to this day. But I don't think my mama was justified. She probably had the right idea, but where there's a will, there's a way, and there could have been another way to figure that out. Now, granted, that's debatable. Debate I'm not willing to have. That's my opinion. And then as far as Anna becoming a mother herself, she's 15. That's all so much, right? But it is depicted as this transformational thing, because eventually the love that Anna has for Juan, she then has for her daughter. And in the end, Mama chooses Anna over Juan. It takes a lot to get there, but eventually she does come to her daughter's aid and takes her side. So the depiction of motherhood in this book is really a story of growth and elevation over time. 9. Anna absorbs lessons on marriage from her mother's stories, pop culture, I Love Lucy, and telenovelas, politics, Jackie Kennedy's speeches, and more. How does Anna view her role as a wife, and how does it shift the course of the novel? Anna views her role as a wife as one of like long suffering and dedication, right? I think initially when she was in the DR, she has all these idealized dreams of going to Nueva York and having nice things and living this glamorous and luxurious lifestyle, when that's not the reality. So she gets here and she watches I Love Lucy, and she sees I Love Lucy kind of be the butt of her husband's jokes and kind of like suffering through that. And she only knows the story of her mom, but her mom is very strong, but Juan is a different type of man. That's not who Anna is naturally. She's not one to really like take charge. Eventually she does learn strength. She's still young, but eventually she does learn that strength, but she does have to get bumps and bruises along the way in order to learn these very difficult lessons. So for Anna, I think it is a sense of dedication. She wants to make sure her family is okay, and she thinks Juan is the way to do that. But it does come with a lot of heartbreak and pain in the process. Number 10. Discuss Anna's relationships with Juan and Cesar. What does each brother offer, and what are their drawbacks? Do you think Anna made the right decision in letting Cesar go? They are brothers. Juan is the older brother who has the shorter fuse, but is more business oriented. Cesar is the more funny, jovial, younger brother who's more the free spirit, go with the flow. He's gonna figure it out as he goes. Little papi chulo. But you know, they're different. But Juan is not Juan. Cesar is also very sweet and does have feelings for Anna. Do I think Anna made the right decision? Alright, let's talk about it. So with Juan, she has stability. He's gonna do what he said he was gonna do, even if he doesn't want to. With Cesar, she has someone who more so believes in her. he is willing to go on this entrepreneurial journey with her. He's a dreamer. So he's an artist. They have that in common. There's more passion, there's more chemistry, there's more tenderness, right? So she's pregnant and with child, and when Cesar comes to pick her up, it's like, okay, we can't live with you in this woman's attic. Who's gonna, like, do you have a plan to take care of us? And Ana is really family oriented, and Cesar is more like, listen, people abandon their families every day for less. It can be us against the world, and Ana's not really built for that. She wants to be, but she really has loyalty to her mother, her father, her siblings. So did she make the right decision? Maybe, right? I mean, eventually, you know, her and Juan, it doesn't really seem like they're going to be together at the end of the book. He's sleeping on the couch. The mother and brother, who are now in America, are sleeping with Ana in the bedroom until they can save up enough money for an apartment. They have to, again, the theme comes up again of, we have to make this work. So that's what they're doing. They're making it work for the time being. Now, I think with Cesar, it would have been a different life, but that's the thing about life, honestly. You make a decision, you make a choice, and every time you make one decision, you give up something else. So did she make the right decision? Who knows, right? Either path she takes is a different life, and either path that she would have chosen had its own hurdles and struggles that would have come as a result. So who knows what's to come down the line? Maybe they'll bend the block, maybe they probably won't. But I think the important thing is Ana is finding herself, and that's really what we get with the resolution of the book. And with Cesar, she probably would have continued to be a little reliant on him. So depends on what ending you want. Numero 11. New York City itself becomes a sort of character in this novel, with scenes at the Audubon Ballroom, the Queen's World Fair, the beach at Coney Island, and beyond. What is the influence of the city on Ana's life? What was your favorite scene among her urban adventures? The city greatly influences Ana's life. She has no understanding of like what New York is. It's this grand, large, just brawling city full of possibilities and dangers. And so being across from the Audubon Ballroom, she really gets a more intimate understanding of something she maybe would have never seen if it was solely a Dominican neighborhood. And what I mean by that is she gets to be close and watch, like every Sunday she gets to go see Muslim, or NOI, but Muslim individuals go, and she doesn't really know what's going on there, but she sees them, and then she can correlate and connect that to marches she sees on TV, and then she sees them bring Malcolm X out after he's been assassinated. And so she gets to ask all of these questions, and that in of itself roots her to larger societal issues that she may not have had that direct connection to had she only been in a neighborhood solely Dominican, because then it would have been very insular to the issues and politics that may have been discussed, right? And then also by the neighborhood not being solely Dominican, right, she gets to encounter so many different individuals, and she just has different experiences. And even by Cesar being one of those individuals who wants to get out, wants to explore, wants to do different things, he takes her out over, and she gets a larger understanding, negatively and positively, of that, the vastness of the world, the like diversity of New York City. So this all shapes her understanding, and it helps her to determine who she wants to be in the city. My favorite scene of adventures, probably when Ana takes her pregnant self out there chasing after Cesar in some bar, and then she grabs the wrong guy. It's a whole thing, and she like has to run out of there with her little pregnant belly. But I think that many things happen for her in that moment. But like that's the first time she's really out and exploring New York City by herself at night. And then, you know, she also has to grapple with, what am I doing? I am married and I am heart sprung on my husband's brother. What does this all mean? So I think in a lot of different ways, it's forcing her to grow up, and it's forcing her to face herself. So I liked it. Número 12. Race is very much on the characters' minds in this novel, from the importance of Dominican baseball players to Juan and his brothers and how their skin color changes the way they are perceived in the city, to the tensions with Hector's Puerto Rican wife, Irene, to Anna's relationship with her neighbors in their building, to Juan's distrust of African Americans in Washington Heights. Discuss the contrasting forces of assimilation and cultural identity that shape the characters' lives. I think I've done this throughout, right? I think, again, whenever you're just with your own culture, it can be very insular. So I think all of that with New York City, they always say, like, if you take the American dream, like, New York City is probably the most representative of that. Even though you still have, like, areas where certain groups of people live, you can't navigate New York City without bumping into everybody. So with that, you have to grapple with the larger American issues that are happening, but also grapple with communal issues that are happening in the area, which may impact more than just your group. But then you're also trying to grapple with issues within your own community, like as far as like your cultural community. So it's just a lot, but I think it's necessary. Sometimes it feels overdone because it's like everything is happening in this book. It doesn't always feel realistic, but definitely possible, and it definitely forces you to have those larger cultural conversations about what happens when cultures rub elbows and come into contact with each other, and the complexities therein and the confrontations therein. Like there's one scene where a guy, an NOI black guy, is trying to help her and she's like super scared, and he kind of like laughs it off because she's obviously being ridiculous. But grappling with that, and what does that mean, and why do you have that fear? So it's a lot, but it's those type of thought-provoking conversations that make you reflect and are necessary. The final question. Like the final countdown? Dominicana is in many ways Anna's coming-of-age story. Does Anna remind you of any women in your own life or family? How does she change and grow over these pages? What do you think her future holds? Good questions to wrap it up. Let's start with number 1. Does Anna remind me of any women in my own life and family? To a degree, it reminds me of my maternal grandmother and her experience during the Great Migration of moving from Mississippi to Chicago and being in a marriage that she didn't want to be in and fleeing and starting a new life and the challenges therein, right? So in that sense, yeah, it kind of does. At that time, you had a lot of women who were in a lot of marital situations that they may not have chosen for themselves, but in one way or another it was beneficial. Or, you know, at that time, if you got somebody pregnant, y'all had to get married. So a lot of times people weren't necessarily together for love. People were together for convenience. People were together for financial gain. People were together for business prospects. It ain't so different today, but it has evolved to a degree. So yeah, I think in that sense, all of us probably have someone in our families that we can, maybe it's not a direct connection or like a one-to-one as far as coming from another country here, but maybe in a smaller scale, similar situation. How does she change and grow over these pages? She finds herself. She finds her independence. She finds her strength. She finds her resistance. And she finds the ability to make choices for herself and to advocate for herself. And in this world, listen, what did Audre Lorde say? You have to define yourself for yourself, or else you will be crunched into other people's image of you and eaten alive. That was me freestyling, but it's real similar to that. So it's important, right? If Anna didn't choose for herself what she wanted to be, she would have forever been Juan's little abused parajita and living what life? Those were not her dreams. She wanted to continue going to school to learn English. She wanted to go to school to learn business, right? This is what she wanted. So unless she found her voice and her solidarity and an ability to stand on her own 2 feet, then life would have continued to make her go hither and fro. And what life is that? What do you think her future holds? Oh, little Anna. I think her future can be whatever she wants it to be. I think that, you know, at the end of the book, we see her go back into the neighborhood bodega, and, you know, the guy's like, wow, I remember you. New York City looks good on you. You think you're going to stay around? And she's like, I do. I think I am. And I think that the future holds all of her dreams and desires, right? I think of her continuing to learn English, of her going to school, whether that's becoming a secretary or whether that's her going and actually getting her MBA or getting a degree in business and continuing to sell her food and opening restaurants, right, that they speak to. I think that's a possibility. I think as far as love, I mean, it's New York City. There's a world of possibilities. But I think, you know, New York City and Massachusetts really ain't that far. And I think if her and Cesar, you know, if they can sit down and have a real conversation, they can maybe figure that out. I think that, you know, her little brother continues to go to school. He's younger. He'll adapt better. He'll learn English in school, probably go to university. He has all the options available. Mama is a little older, you know, but she can definitely be a support system. And I don't know what her dreams are, right? Her dreams for her family to be in New York, and they are. So maybe they'll get the rest of her siblings to come to New York. Maybe they'll connect with the sister that's moving to Tennessee. And maybe they'll also, you know, really have the space to mourn Yanni, you know, the brother who was killed in DR, and really rebuild those bonds that sometimes, you know, become strained when you live apart. But I think what the world holds for Ana Cancion, whatever she desires, man. Life is gonna throw whatever it wants at you, at all of us, and all we can do is adjust and keep pushing and persevering. And so if she can continue to roll with the punches, Anna is gonna be a-okay. So that's my final discussion video for Dominicana, answering the questions. Let me know y'all thoughts in the comments below. Do you disagree? Do you agree? How'd you feel about the ending? What do you see the future holding for Anna? Let me know. The book that I'm currently reading is Shadow and Bone. I'm only like 2 pages in, but I'm not mad at it so far. So nothing more to share than that. More reviews to come, more book videos to come. I will be leaving for my birthday trip soon, so, you know, I have a lot of travel footage that I just need to sit down and edit. So maybe I'll get that all to you all soon, and maybe I'll actually vlog and capture some footage from my birthday trip. I'm gonna go to Mauritius. I think it's gonna be a vibe, so we'll see. But that is it for me. I am MsMalcolmHughes, one who believes that books are sometimes better than people. And until the next one, until we can gather again, please remember to give time, to be kind to each other, and to have the best day of your life on purpose. Peace, odavo, adios, ciao.